Our menu today is going to be the national dish of North Africa. Algeria, Tunisia, and Morocco, all of them do couscous. The couscous is made with lamb. Not all the time, but 9 out of 10 times, sometimes with the chicken. And what I have here is a leg of lamb, very lean meat. And we are cutting that into large cube, you know, about an inch, inch and a half cube. And you see what you do here, it's a very lean type of dish also because we use first the right cut, and secondly, what happens is that you put that directly in there. We don't fry it or anything. Water, a dash of salt, and this we're going to put seasoning on top of this now. And the seasoning is what we have here. We have ginger, and the ginger here, I'm going to cut it into that little, in that part, into that little hand processor, you know. You can have it peeled or unpeeled. It's fine because I'm going to do a puree with it. 4 or 5 cloves of garlic, about the same amount than ginger, and that we're going to make a paste out of it to put that directly to season the couscous. Here we are. That's it. It doesn't have to be in a total puree, providing it's chopped finely as it is here, it's fine. What I have here, this will go directly in there. I can even rinse this out with a bit of the water there. And I have some cumin powder and tomato paste here, the tomato paste. So this is the first part of our dish right here. And this will take, this will come to a boil, of course, and you want to cook that for a good hour first. After that, we bring vegetable in it. First part of vegetable, because we're putting a lot of vegetable in that dish. And the vegetable that I have here first, I have eggplant, as you see, I have onion, I have carrot, I have butternut squash, and kohlrabi. Those kohlrabi here, you could even use some of the leaf, actually, of the kohlrabi in there. And I have, of course, another dish here which has been cooking for about an hour. And here it is. And this is the time where we're putting all of that in it, even a bit of those leaves. You see those kohlrabi are very white. It's a type of turnips, you know, inside that we have. And this on the other hand, the butternut squash, you could use another type of squash. It's going to be beautiful and yellow inside. That's what we use here. You can, of course, use other type of vegetable if you don't want to use those, but remember that we use a lot of vegetable inside. So this is our first part, the first vegetable in there. Okay, and that has to come back to a boil and cook about 15-20 minutes with those vegetables. Remember, because we have other type of vegetable like zucchini, tomato, those don't cook very long, so we put them later on in there. So mix that well with your juice. You see how colorful already it is. That comes here, and that's going to cook for a while. During that time, I want to show you the special sauce which is done in North Africa to put in there, which is called Harissa. Harissa is H-A-R-I-S-S-A, and it is made with hot pepper. What I use here is the ancho pepper, dry, as you can see them here. Those we put in water. You can soak them overnight, in that case here, or in hot water, and they will reconstitute to this. And what we want to do with that is, again, make a paste out of it. So I cut them coarsely. Now they are very soft. Put my knife here, so it won't work without the knife. Here it is. And some are darker, as you can see, and you would want to take the stem out of it, which is tougher. But this makes a great mixture. You can keep that in your refrigerator for months, you know, and it makes a great taste. See, those are lighter in color. There is different type and different color. A lot of garlic. I have about 7-8 cloves of garlic here. A bit of tomato paste, again, that we are putting right in there. Now I'm putting some of the juice from the ancho pepper here to liquefy the mixture. and a bit of cayenne. You know, the cayenne is that very, very hot red pepper, you know. You put a little bit of it. We call that piment enragé in French, you know, enraged piment. It's so hot. So we make a paste out of that. That makes a great seasoning, you know. Seasoning for stew as we do here, but not necessarily for stew. You can use it for soup. You can use it for different type of thing. And as I say, you can keep it in a jar in the refrigerator. You can go there for a long time, you know. Here it is. I could make it even finer than that, but I like it kind of a bit chunky like this, you see. Now this is a hot sauce. So as I said, the harissa, you know, the standard one, most people buy it. But then it's nice to do it yourself. And we want to put it in the first lamb. Remember, 1 tablespoon of this we want to put in there to start giving some hotness to the dish. Okay, so now we have that here. This we don't need anymore. What we want to do is the garnish which goes with that. And the garnish which goes with that is a grain special to Africa, which is called the couscous, you know. And conventionally, it's cooked in a couscousier, that is a special dish, if you want, a special piece of equipment that you actually have like a type of sieve on top, and you put it and the steam cook it. And as it cooks, you bring it together with your hand to make it loose, cook it again, and so forth. The conventional method of cooking it is quite complicated and takes a long time. So what we use here, what's available in the market is that type of couscous, which is an instant couscous which cooks very fast. And this is a semolina grain, that is, it's a wheat grain. You know, whether it's flour, whether it's semolina or couscous, it is still the wheat, fine, I mean puree or rather powdered, very fine in the case of flour, a bit bigger for semolina and even bigger so for couscous. So what we have here, and I have a little bit of butter here, we put that in there, and I like to put the fruit from Africa here, like fig, dates, all of that type of thing will go well with it. So we cut those in there, sometimes nuts even I put in it, you know. When you cook like that, you try to work with the climatic condition of an area and use the product which is conventional there. So what we want to do is to coat all of this nicely with the butter in the bottom and a dash of salt in there because I'm putting plain water. And the quantity of water that I put here is the same quantity than the rice, than the couscous that I have here. So here it is. I put it back in there. That's all you do, and I shut it off. I shut off everything, and there at that point, it doesn't have to cook. It will just expand and absorb all of that liquid. You cover it, and within 10 minutes, you're ready to use it. So it's a very easy thing to do. And after that, what I'd like to do is actually to put the rest of our vegetable in there. Now, I know that it did not really cook as long as I would like to, but those vegetables cook less. I have tomato, zucchini, chickpeas. Those chickpeas, I cook them before in water. You can get a canned one if you want, it's fine. The chickpeas usually take a long time to cook. So let's say if this had been cooked for about 15-20 minutes, those vegetables are actually getting soft now, so it's okay. I want to put my zucchini. You see, often when you cook a lot of vegetable, it's a question of common sense, you know. If you do a soup and you have different type of vegetable in it, let's say if I cook those zucchini in the same time than the carrot, I may cut the carrot very small and the zucchini very big so that they are cooked together. If I don't do this, then I put the zucchini later, you know, one or the other. It's just a question of common sense. Likewise with the tomato. So I have my zucchini here, tomato, just diced tomato. I could even have a little more tomato. Often those are nice, those so-called plum tomato, you know, because they have a thick wall and they are very fleshy, you know, and they are nice to put in stew. And again, you can vary those vegetables. In Africa, I have seen gombo in it, manioc, different type of other thing. Then my chickpeas with the juice. So you can see that relatively in a recipe like that, which would be plenty for like 6, 8 people, even though we do a recipe for 4. Did I put salt in there? Yes, maybe a bit more. You can see that I have 1.5 pounds of meat, and very defatted meat, which is 24 ounces, which is about 6 ounces of raw meat per person to start with, about 3 ounces cooked. But I have probably 4 or 5 times the amount of vegetable with this. So this, I'm going to put it on medium. And while this is cooking, I want to prepare the first course for us, and the first course is a gravlax of salmon. And that gravlax of salmon is done with that large, beautiful salmon, which is a raised salmon, what we call now Norwegian salmon, or Canadian salmon, or Chile. Any of those places, it is raised. Of course, you can buy the fillet at your fishmonger. I want to show you how to take the fillet out of it. With a large knife, cut it around so that you can turn your knife around, put your knife flat on the central bone, and cut it out. As you can see, if you have a nice knife, which is sharp, it's going to work pretty good. Now, another thing, too, very often when I do this, because that bone is round, so I lose a little bit of meat here. So what do I do after? I scrape the meat, you see, from the bone, and all that I keep to do a mousse or a tartare or any of that thing. So I lose nothing at all. Actually, if you're really broke, you can go to the fishmonger, ask for a couple of bone. He'll give you free bone. You can scrape it and do a tartare for free. You know, so what we do here, we have the rib cage. So I have to slide my knife, long knife, underneath. And you see, I keep my knife very flat here so that I can actually just remove that part of the thing, which is the rib cage, you know, where you have the bone there. And now the only thing that I have to remove more, there is a series of bone that I can feel right here. I can feel it with my finger. I have to remove those with a little plier here. So one after the other. There is about 28, I think, of those bone. When I remove those bone, I know that I need glasses. I kind of feel them more than see them. But it is very important to remove those bones, because after you do a smoked salmon or you do a gravlax, how we are going to do today, and what happens, you are trying to cut it into thin slice, and you have those bones. You see, they get smaller and smaller, and this is the last one here. I can run my hand and feel if everything has been removed. You know, those tiny bones here. So that basically all clean this way. What we do, so that the seasoning in the gravlax get into the flesh better, I've removed the scale before. All I want to do is to run my knife very gently. You see, you run the knife rather very gently, that to just cut the surface of the skin in a kind of crisscross pattern, so that a little bit of the seasoning can go in, you know, and that's what we want to do here. Bring that there. And now we are going to season the gravlax. You know, gravlax, conventionally, you know, the gravlax is a Scandinavian country. So, you know, we have a mixture of the different part of the world. The Scandinavian country, of course, gravlax. And we started with a couscous, which is part of the Maghreb, you know, the part of the world called the Maghreb, M-A-G-H-R-E-B, I believe, which is that fertile strip of land which comprises Tunisia, Algeria, and Morocco, just in front of the Atlas Mountain, you know, at the tip of North Africa. On the other side of the Atlas Mountain, you have the greatest wasteland in the world, which is the Sahara Desert. But in front of it, you have beautiful skiing in Morocco and so forth, and absolutely beautiful land. So what I have here, I have salt, a bit of sugar, and all of the seasoning that I have on the table here. I have nutmeg, I have cumin, I have cayenne pepper, very, very hot. I have paprika, and here this is all spice. You can change those, of course, if you want, but this is our first curing. Now, the curing, of course, is the effect of the salt. The salt will cure the fish or the meat, and by curing, actually, it draws out the moisture and deprives the bacteria of a necessary living condition. So this is the action of curing. So I have that mixture. Here. So you know, when you have a smoked salmon, the smoked salmon is first cured. Usually it's cured with salt, sometimes a bit of sugar. That's about it. In our case here, we put a lot of other type of seasoning with it. And what I want to do is to put that in plastic wrap like that. It's about the best way of wrapping it, you know. This to put it aside. And unless you have the very large one, the conventional one is fairly narrow, so you would probably need 2 of those. And I can smell my stew cooking. I can smell it that it's bubbling a lot, so maybe I'm going to put that on a bit lower. That's it. So my gravlax is there. I'm going to put a little bit of this first to go through the skin here and so forth. Rub it, turn it on the other side, gently, and then put the rest of it here, which I'm going to spread nicely, and that will take about 12 hours of curing, you know. By the time it's finished curing, I could use it just as is. I would have a type of gravlax, you know, but we're going to do one step further. In any case, to do that, just wrap it tightly. And most of the juice which is going to come and all of the salt and the seasoning will be absorbed into the salmon itself. And by the time 10, 12 hours later, you won't even see it. It will have disappeared. And of course, I have one which is done right here, which has been cooking for about that amount of time, which has been curing for about that amount of time, about 10, 12 hours. And now I open it, and you can see it has a beautiful reddish color now. Everything has been absorbed in it. You know, there is basically no liquid left. The second step of what we do, which is a bit unusual, because as I say, you could use it this way, is molasses, dark molasses, and soy sauce. I have about 2 tablespoons of soy sauce that I'm going to put with about 1/4 cup of dark molasses, you know. And that is going to give a very special taste and also a very special color to my salmon, a dark, rich color, you know. So this, your best bet is really to put it back on your tray so that it doesn't go all over the place. Otherwise, you'll get yelled at me. So I put it back here. Okay, we put our dark mixture here. I want to put some on the other side, so I want to turn it. It doesn't matter which side yet, because you know we're going to turn it in the refrigerator. And all of that is going to go on top of it. So that's an interesting, quite interesting cure, a bit different than what is conventionally done. So I'm going to wrap this again tight. And occasionally, you know, if I have that in the refrigerator, I may turn it this way for a few hours and turn it the other way. It really doesn't matter that much. It should cure nice here. What we do, however, after like a day, you know, that it's been curing this way, I take it out, just with your hand, sponge out a little bit of the liquid. There is not that much liquid left, actually. And then you put it on a wire rack in the refrigerator for a good day, so that it dries. And that's what I have here. Actually, it's even better if you leave it for a couple of days, you know? And I have one here which has been drying out, you know? As you can see here, it is harder. So this is a beautiful salmon that I'm going to carve and show you. Here, I need usually a long knife, you know, to carve. I want to cut it from the center a little bit so you can see the color that I have here. I have a bunch of salmon which has been cut from the center, you know, right here. You can see the beautiful edge and the cured center. So you want to hold your knife flat, gently, and cut it into thin strips like this. Actually, you know, your best bet will be to have a knife even thinner than that. But it's okay. And another thing too, sometimes you have board, you know. You put a board where you can put your salmon on top of it. There is special board for that where the salmon doesn't slide and you don't dirty your table. You know? Actually, I have one of those right here that I wanted to show you because there is some rib in the center of it, you see. So that salmon doesn't move when I slide it. Another thing too, often it slides on the table. You can always wet a paper towel, put it underneath, and that will hold it on the table. So again, you see, I have those thin slices. You can see that it's basically transparent, a beautiful color. So you can continue cutting for a big party. What we want to do here is to arrange some slice directly on a plate and with some salad. We have different type of garnish. You can season that with a little bit of vinegar and oil, your salad if you want. Actually, you can leave it plain also because you can season the top of your salmon. And we can even put, sometimes I put cracker or potato chip underneath. What I want to do, however, you know, it's seasoned salad like this, but a salad which kind of hold its shape, you know, so that not only do I have color, but when I put that on top of it, it kind of fall nicely, you know, in different, you know, without being too flat on the table like this. So that would be a beautiful thing. You can prepare it this way also with capers. You know, capers here, olive oil on top. Oops, a bit too much here. And now we want to see whether our couscous is ready. I think it is, right there. And we want to serve it. We serve the couscous like in other part of North Africa where they serve the thieboudienne. You can see this is totally cooked and very fluffy now. I may not put all of it in there, but again, what you want to put is to put it in the center of it, to do a big nest there and place the meat in the center of it. Meat and vegetable, mostly vegetable. And as you see, this is an absolutely terrific stew. You should have quite a lot of liquid left, as I have here, because you want to sponge that liquid with the juice. You know, the liquid, you want to sponge it with the couscous. And this is about as you would want to present it on the table. Beautiful, healthy, a great dish from North Africa. And this is the national dish of North Africa, the Maghreb. You know, food is a real international language. You know, wherever you go, on a journey, traveling, if you can share food with people, even though you don't speak the language, you make friends. Food and wine, and this is what we have today, a mixture of different parts of the world, but mostly North Africa. And I have that salmon first, that sometimes I serve actually at home with some onion. You see those onions, I wash them under water so that they don't discolorate, and you put that on top. How beautiful it is, you see. And with this one here, we could have those little triangle of, or rather, yes, triangle of dark bread with butter, if you want, and that really dress it up. And of course, the couscous. The couscous has everything in it, a little bit of meat, a lot of vegetable, the grain around, it's a total dish. And with that at the end, we have dry and fresh fruit. A lot of dry fruit in North Africa, you know, dry prune, dry fig, dry apricot, and so forth, and that's what you want to have. And with that, a strong, deep wine. You know, you could have one from North Africa. Here we have a Chianti Classico, which is very good with that, a very robust, very harmonious wine, well balanced, is going to go very well with it. Be daring a little bit, go to the market, buy couscous, a little bit of land, and do that great dish for the family. They're going to love it. And don't forget to put a little bit of harissa, which is the hot sauce, on your couscous, and it's done by mixing the harissa with a little bit of the juice from the couscous cooking. And I'm sure you are going to love it, just as I love making it for you. Happy cooking!